Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on my program. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you are joining me from any part of the world, I thank you very much for your contributions on this channel. Please kindly subscribe if you have not subscribed, and also click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. In this channel, I bring information to your doorstep. I bring news from all channels, from every angle. Things that have to do about the world, things that have to do about Africa, more especially Nigeria. I bring it to your doorstep. Some information that you ignore, some information that you cannot be able to come across, I look for them, I bring it to your doorstep for you to see. Every video you see on this channel is for educational purpose.
Sheikh Made is a businessman and a civil rights activist. Thank you.
Who are the stakeholders in the security architecture? The state government, the citizens, the federal government. If there is a total failure of security, the first thing you look at is what are the budgetary provisions in terms of security and how are they being spent. When you hear trillions of naira spent, billions of naira budgeted for security, yet every day it is a harvest of death. Every day it is maiming, killing, kidnapping and arson. It means either this money is being outrightly stolen, or is being misapplied, or is being misused, or both. By who? By those who are presiding over that fund. Between 1999 to date, if they tell you the trillions of naira said to have been spent on security, it is enough to make everybody in Nigeria a multimillionaire. Yet no security. Look at every state government budget. The amount of money budgeted for administration in the governor's office, in addition to the security of what he controls, put together are more than the entire budget of 10 ministries, agencies and departments. Which means something somewhere, somehow is fundamentally wrong. Number two, the federal government. They control the entire security personnel. The security personnel are at the mercy of the federal government. What is the federal government doing about security? It appears that either those who are responsible for securing lives and properties, either they don't understand their constitutional mandate, or they do, but they have no capacity, or they have, but they don't have the courage, or they have the courage, but they are sleeping over everything. The citizens also, security is a collective responsibility. How much role have you as a citizen played in ensuring that you contribute to your own quota? You participate and you partake in ensuring that you make available necessary information enough to help security agencies to perform their duties. Because these people who are holding us at particular pains, the criminals, they live with us. They are our children, our parents, our brothers, our neighbors. We know them, they know us, they are living within us. We see the way they live, yet because of the way and manner we benefit from their own crime, from the proceeds, we rather shield them. Until and unless we are willing to do it correctly, for that long we are going to be having sleepless nights. But let me say that... what's the correct way, do you think? You mentioned is a multi-stakeholder, three-pronged approach to security. Right. The citizen, the state government, the federal government. Okay, now the way out is... for example, in Zamfara State, in Benue, in Katsina, who have openly cried out for citizens to go and buy guns. Is that the only option you have? For instance, recently in Zamfara State government, billions of naira were spent on purchase of automobiles. For whom? For traditional rulers. Is that the priority that you have at this material time when people are under siege? You are using money to buy automobiles for traditional rulers, automobiles that you cannot even drive. Will dare anybody in Zamfara State from the traditional institution to drive those cars? You mean the limousines? The limousines, they should drive them if they have the courage and the gas and the audacity. They should drive them on the highway. These automobiles are not, you can't drive them in the entire Zamfara, Sokoto, Kebbi axis. Therefore, that's a wasted expenditure. Should that be the priority of the state government, where there are no drugs in the hospitals, no good roads, unemployment, no scholarship, you dedicate that money, billions as it is, for the purchase of automobiles. If governors have been injecting money into employment generating investments, into real security protection, into education, into health, you will minimize all those apprehensions, all those crimes. But when you find like a governor going to borrow money to build an underpass, an overpass bridge, when in the entire state, over 40% of its local governments have been taken over by bandits, this governor is borrowing money to go and build an underpass and overpass. That doesn't sound as if there is a complete disconnect between the governors and the people that are presiding over.
So prioritization is security
if you look at the budget, except for some few states in the north, if you look at their budgetary provisions, their line items, they are laughable. They are insulting. It tells you that either they don't know governance or they are taking governance and people they are governing over for granted. Number two, citizens must devise a way and means of cooperating among themselves, of community work, of community cohesion, of community contribution. You don't leave everything of security to government. There must be a community participation, community appreciation, and community injection of their views, their own ideas, their capacities, even their own resources. And of course, the federal government must wake up. In a society where virtually now, everywhere in this country, there is the presence of the military, the army, the police, the navy, everywhere, as if we are all under siege. Is that desirable? It is not. There is a need for the federal government to go back on the drawing
of assembly for their own action, where we expect two-thirds of them to pass. The first reaction of the state assembly through their conference of speakers of state houses of assembly is that the national assembly should go back and consider the issue of state police, because the input the assemblies made before the commencement of voting was that state police should become an agenda to be voted for. National Assembly didn't deem it fit to be brought in as a provision to be voted for, and the assemblies are insisting you must include state police, vote on it for us to even consider the other amendments you have proposed.
You will never hear about it again because the National Assembly are complicit in this failure of security. If you see the way and manner, and I hope they are hearing me, the Senate Committee on Security, House Committee on Security, go and ask head of security agencies. They will tell you the deeper story. They will tell you the sad story. The National Assembly don't want hands off from managing security funds, because by the time you do state police, most of the funds would have been taken away to the states. And the National Assembly, who are presiding over this security votes, security money, free as it is, money that is not being audited, would not want that chunk of money.
Not audited as should.
Not audited as it should. They would want to let go that chunk of money that they have been feasting on from eternity.
So it's time to make a U-turn and introduce state police, and you expect the National Assembly to work on it as we speak?
Mr. Dechi, the condition is just simple. You people who are going to vote should negotiate. Tell your representative, our first agenda is state police. Give us in writing that if you go to the Senate or House of Representatives, your first motion will be that of state police. If you are not going to do that, we are not going to vote for you. They should extract a memorandum of understanding, a memorandum of commitment from every aspiring, especially members of the National Assembly. If we don't negotiate and they go there without our inputs, they will continue business as usual.
Perhaps we should also push these questions to the presidential candidates. What's their stand on the issue of state police? What are their plans for security?
I hope the media will do that, because I could see many media houses evading and avoiding and being afraid of calling over these presidential candidates to ask them certain questions. Rather, some of them are busy concealing them, protecting them, make it impossible for even somebody to comment about them. I hope and I pray that the media will wake up, especially the big media players, the big players in the media industry. I'm looking forward to a day when you will call a presidential candidate right on this table. Ask him, Mr. A, you want to preside over Nigeria as a president, tell us about your genealogy. Tell us where you come from. Because the moment you join politics is you have brought your secret file to the public. Scrutinize me. We want to know who is your mother, who is your father, who are your parents, who are your relations, which school did you attend to, who are your classmates, who was your headmaster, who was your principal, which university you go to. Bring us.
What are your antecedents?
We need to know. But when you begin to continue concealing people, protecting them, because there are questions about them that these questions cannot be answered by them and cannot be answered genuinely by anybody, you are not helping the situation, you are not helping the society, you are not even helping the media practice for that matter.
Okay, we hope that perhaps when the time for campaign starts officially, sometime in September, the media should be aware of this. I know the Nigerian media will not shake this responsibility. But let's get your reaction to the primaries that threw up these candidates. There were reports of money being thrown around and all that. An issue of direct primaries, the National Assembly again. Some say shooting himself on his foot by forgetting to remove clauses that excluded statutory delegates from being part of the voting delegate.
That is called nemesis. Nemesis caught up with them. Now they are lamenting. Now they are regretting. Now they are saying, had we known, we would have acted differently, but it is too little, too late. If you look at the way and the manner and the process, the procedures of the primary elections, of especially the two major political parties, APC and PDP, it is sending a message that we are yet to be there. We are yet to understand democracy. We are yet to give democracy its rightful place in the Committee of Nations. We have already deliberately and consciously monetized our own democracy. That also has to do with the level of poverty in the country. It has to do with the level of unemployment in the country. It has to do with the level of low voter education in the country. It has to do with so many other factors surrounding democracy. Our democracy is in trouble. If you want to know how the quantum of trouble we are facing, listen to the following explanation. Number one, if you go to a pot and you look inside and a soup has been prepared, you will find so many variables that make up that soup. Similarly, in democracy, there are those factors, those components, those segments, those variables that make up democracy. Let us analyze about 3 or 4 of them. Number one, the entire democracy is about power. And it's acquired.
State power.
The moment you see in the process of acquiring power, money plays an epicentral role. The moment you see that everybody is up for the grab, the moment you see that people are being induced, are being cajoled, are being blackmailed, are being maimed, killed or incapacitated, or in the process of acquiring power, that is when democracy is in danger. Number two, the moment in democracy you find authority. After getting power, you get authority. The moment you see authority not being used to the maximum benefit of the citizenry, the moment you see authority being abused by those in authority, the moment you see authority being used as an instrument to assault, to insult, to steal, and to loot, that is when democracy is in danger. Legitimacy. Democracy is about legitimacy. The moment you see legitimacy being misused, being misapplied, being personalized, that is when democracy is in danger.
And when the power, like you said, is used for the benefit of the people, the authorities use the power in their position to the benefit of the people, you get legitimacy.
That's right.
The reverse is the case, it becomes otherwise.
Now, most importantly, democracy is about knowing when to let go. Leaders who are responsible always know when to let go. The moment the ovation is over, you are supposed to set aside, allow people to come in. But Nigerian version of democracy is that of you sit tight. People are being killed by the day, by the week, by the month, every year through. Nobody cares. Governors are lamenting, they are crying.
Or perhaps not caring.
They're not even caring. They don't even care.
They do.
If you look at them, most of them don't care. Look, when you see a governor saying that go and buy guns, he is telling you that I have failed. In a normal society, he should resign. In a normal society, from the day a governor says go and buy guns and protect yourself, from that day the president should declare state of emergency, invite the military there,
I made reference to the Second Amendment in the U.S.
That's right.
So even in almighty U.S., citizens still buy guns.
No. That is a different society. It's a different democracy. We copied American brand democracy, wholesale and retail, but we are virtually copying nothing. We are doing nothing. We are only doing about 10% of the total copy that we copied from American democracy. What we are saying is that there is a provision for creation of declaring state of emergency. It is high time and ripe enough, now not tomorrow, for the president to look at those states that have become ungovernable, that have been taken over by bandits, to declare state of emergency right now, today, not tomorrow. Deployment will take over there.
What will change?
It will change.
What will change?
It will change. A lot of things will change. The speed at which money is being spent in the name of security and the total failure that follows up is enough to tell you that that governor has failed.
Because if you declare state of emergency, you're empowering the governor, because you're suspending the state assembly, and you're transferring his powers to the National Assembly in Abuja, and perhaps the governor will not have a state assembly members breathing down his neck.
The National Assembly are not going to preside over the state. They will need the security apparatus, and there will be a deployment, huge deployment. When you declare state of emergency, there is going to be a huge deployment of armed personnel to take over.
Have you not seen this huge deployment already?
Where is it?
There are new bases we see in Zamfara, multiple military operations on
Go and ask those who are operating on ground, their experiences. Ask them about their allowances. Ask them about their own arms. Ask them about their own welfare. And the story...
It comes to question.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, more issues to consider. Please do stay with us.
Did you know that AIT's social media handles have all changed? If you are one of the millions of our followers on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, this is introducing to you AIT's new official and rebranded social media handles. Like or follow us now on our Facebook page, Official AIT Live. If you're on Twitter, switch to our new handle at Official AIT Live and activate the notification button to get breaking news and updates on the go. For exclusive short videos and photo news, follow our Instagram account at Official AIT Live. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Official AIT Live, and enjoy live streaming of news and your favorite programs, where you can also watch our broadcast materials at your own convenience. Note that Official AIT Live is the only authentic social media profile name with all the handles on our website AIT Live, with a notification prompt to accept and receive breaking news and updates on the go. Log on to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube platforms on your smartphone, tablet device, laptop, and desktop to follow us now. AIT.live. On air, online, online.
Well, my guest is Madi Shehu. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Dialogue Group, a business concern, and of course, he is a civil rights activist. Thank you so much for staying with us. Our problem is not just that of politics or security. We have state non-security. We'll come back to politics, but let's take a look at the economy. From our indicators, not quite something to be pleasant of. GDP growing, but look at other indices, very indeed alarming. Poverty, rising, unemployment on the rise, on the increase about 25%. And someone will say, how do you expect a stable society when unemployment is high and poverty also high? how do we navigate out of this quagmire?
Well, you see, if you look at the Nigerian economy, especially those who are managing the economy, if you look at the policies guiding the Nigerian management of the Nigerian economy, you get confused. In the morning, if it is yellow, in the afternoon, it is maroon, in the evening, it is dark blue, in the night, like a rainbow, multiple colors. Complete confusion in the economy. Today you intervene in multiple exchange rate. Tomorrow you borrow money from the CBN to pay salary. Day after tomorrow you make all sort of intervention. If you look at the June 2022 report of the CBN, of the World Bank, it said there is a complete confusion in the way and the manner Nigerian economy is being managed. I don't even need the central bank or the World Bank to tell me this. All is not well. The indices of inflation are very, very clear. We go to the market, you go to the market, I go to the market, everybody goes to the market. We've seen the geometrical increase in prices. It's an indication that all is not well. Those with income, I'm not talking about those with rights, those with income, the income amounts to virtually nothing. Fixed income. There are parameters on ground, empirical, that you don't even need to be an economist to understand that our economy is in shambles. Our economy is in shameful position. Those who are not in the Nigerian economy, either they're incompetent, they are insensitive, they are confused, or they are selfish, or they are both. In a country where 80% of the people are living below poverty line, in the midst of more enough.
Maybe over 50%?
Yes, more than 80% are living below poverty line.
The figures will have just above 50%.
They are more than that. They are more than that. In a society where trillions are being spent, you don't see the trillions. Trillions are being said to be injected, you don't see them. In a society where within 8 years, 11 trillion naira was said to have been spent on power, there is no power. Road networks have already virtually collapsed all over the country.
You talked about borrowing to pay salary.
Yes.
The acting accountant general of the federation made that allusion that we are borrowing, and it's perhaps something. It's an open secret.
It's
we have
secret.
for years been borrowing to pay salary.
That's right.
Where would it drive this nation?
See, what I can't even understand is if you look at the amount of money being generated by Nigerian Port Authority, by Nigerian Customs, by so many other revenue earning agencies, the legitimate question to ask is, where is this money going to? You use over 70% of the revenue to service what? To service loans. It's scandalous.
Even the Senate President some time ago was bemoaning the fact that lots of these revenue generating agencies don't remit as much as they should.
He should keep quiet. He is there to preside over sanity. He is there to preside over laws.
Are you not harsh on him?
I'm not being harsh on him. He should stop.
He's a